and the night curtailed from the night for 30 days. And then the day is longer by 2 parts than the night. The day is precisely 10 parts, and the night is 8. The sun goes forth through this fourth gate and sets in it, and turns to the fifth gate during 30 days, after which it proceeds and sets in the fifth gate.
All right. So again, I know this might be a little bit confusing your first time seeing this, but again, we do have classes on this, how to calculate the months, how to calculate the holy days, so forth and so on, where we can drill a little bit more in it. But what I really want to get through is how many days are in the month. So in the first month, you have 30 days in which it goes through the fourth gate. And in those 30 days, the day is getting longer. So the day is getting longer in that day, and it gives you exactly how long. Then it goes into the fifth gate, which is the second month, for another 30 days. So if it's the fourth gate, rise, set, rise, set, rise, set, rise, set, rise, set. So the sun moves through that for 30 days through the first month. Then it goes another 30 days from the second month. And now we're going to get to the third month. Go ahead.
Then the day becomes lengthened by a second portion, so that it is 11 parts, while the night becomes shortened and is only 7 parts. The sun now returns to the east, entering into the sixth gate, and rising and setting in the sixth gate 31 days on account of its signs. At that period, the day is longer than the night, being twice the night, and become 12 parts. But the night is shortened and becomes 6 parts. Then the sun rises up, that the day may be shortened and the night lengthened. And the sun returns toward the east, entering into the sixth gate, where it rises and sets 30 days.
All right, so in that third month, it's 31 days. Because at the end of every season, there's 31 days, because it takes the sun an extra day to go through one gate into the next. So just imagine that you got this hole like this little hole area where the sun is going, and then it reaches like a middle point. And that middle point is still setting and rising on that middle point. So when there's a middle point, it's like in between gates. That's the 31st day when it's getting ready to go into a new gate. The last month of every season has 31 days. So we just had 31 days in the third month. So this is why we had 31 days this month. But it's not the same every month. It's not 30 days every month, or it's not 31 days every month. Go ahead. What verse you on?
21.
Okay.
Enoch chapter 72 and verse 21. When that period is completed, the day becomes shortened precisely 1 part, so that it is 11 parts, while the night is 7 parts. Then the sun goes from the west, from that sixth gate, and proceeds eastwards, rising in the fifth gate for 30 days, and setting again westwards in the fifth gate of the west. At that period, the day becomes shortened 2 parts, and is 10 parts, while the night is 8 parts. Then the sun goes from the fifth gate as it sets in the fifth gate of the west, and rises in the fourth gate for 31 days on account of its signs setting in the west.
So if it takes 31 days to go through that gate, then what does that let you know about the season? Where are you in the season? Anybody? If the sun takes 31 days to go through a gate, what part of the season are you in?
One of the transitions.
Right. You're at the end of a season, because it's 30 days, then 31 days to end your season. Because again, remember, like a rainbow, you have a rainbow and there's these 6 openings like this, and the sun goes from one side to the next, east to west, east to west. And every time it goes, it's moving up a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, until it goes into the next gate. And when it gets to that line in between the gates, that one line, that one rainbow line in between the gates, that is the last day of the season. That's the last day of the season. So that means it's going to take an extra day for it to go through that gate to go into the next season. That's how you know you're at the end of a season. Every other gate, it flies right through it. 30 days, 30 days. It goes in between those gates like it's nothing. But when you're going into a new season, it takes a day longer. That line, I guess, that line in between is a little bit longer, and it takes a little bit longer for it to go in between seasons. Go ahead.
Verse 25. At that period, the day is made equal with the night, and being equal with it, the night becomes 9 parts, and the day 9 parts. Then the sun goes from that gate as it sets in the west, and returning to the east proceeds by the third gate for 30 days.
So it's 9 parts and 9 parts, which means it's equal day and equal night. Equal day and equal night, never exactly equal, but the closest you can get to with equal day and equal night happens at the spring equinox and the fall equinox or autumn equinox. So that lets you know this is the autumn equinox where you have equal day and equal night. You are getting ready to go into a new season. So you have equal day and equal night. That is the beginning of your fall. You just got out of summer. Now you're getting ready to go into fall. And why is it fall? Because the days are falling now. Now the days are getting shorter. You had the longest days in the summer until you get to the end of summer. When you get into fall, now they call it fall because, the leaves are falling too. Don't get me wrong. But the day is falling shorter. And that's why when you get on the other side to spring, you have equal day and equal night on the equinox, the last day of the year of the winter. The next day is spring because the day is springing longer. That's why it's called spring. That's why you can't start spring out of a season because the day hasn't sprung longer yet. It's not longer than the night yet. Go ahead.
At that period, the night is lengthened from the day during 30 mornings, and the day is curtailed from the day during 30 days, the night being 10 parts precisely, and the day 8 parts. The sun now goes from the third gate as it sets in the third gate in the west, but returning to the east, it proceeds by the second gate of the east for 30 days. In like manner also it sets the second gate in the west of heaven. At that period the night is 11 parts, and the day is 7 parts. Then the sun goes at the time from the second gate as it sets in the second gate in the west, but returns to the east, proceeding by the first gate for 31 days, and sets in the west in the first gate. At that period the night is lengthened as much again as the day. It is 12 parts precisely, while the day is 6 parts. The sun has completed its beginnings, and a second time goes round from these beginnings. Into that gate enters for 30 days, and sets in the west in the opposite part. At that period the night is contracted in its length a 4th part, that is, 1 portion, and becomes 11 parts. The day is 7 parts. Then the sun returns and enters into the second gate of the east. It returns by these beginnings 30 days, rising and setting. At that period the night is contracted in its length. It becomes 10 parts, and the day 8 parts. Then the sun goes from the second gate and sets in the west, but returns to the east and rises in the east in the third gate 31 days, setting in the west of heaven.
All right. So again, if there's 31 days in the month, what part of the season is it? The end. Exactly. So this is the end of the year. So now you've gone through everything. It goes through the gates, starts at the 4th gate, it goes all the way up, then it comes all the way down. And then it goes from the bottom all the way back up towards the 4th gate again. And as it gets through the 3rd gate, getting ready to cross over into the 4th gate, you're going to have that equal day and equal night again. That is the spring equinox. That is the last day of the year. Because the next day after that, the day is going to spring forward. The day is going to be longer than the night. So this is how you can tell. Nature will tell you when the seasons are, not man who decides, well, we looking at, some kind of measurement or atomic clocks or whatever that want to tell you this. The stars, everything is going to tell you when it starts. Go ahead.
Verse 42. At that period the night becomes shortened. It is 9 parts, and the night is equal with the day. The year is precisely 364 days.
All right. So the year is precisely 364 days. That's how long a year is. Not 360, not 365, and definitely not with the lunar calendar. With a lunar calendar, you're gonna get 354 days exactly, because the lunar cycle is 29 and a half days average. Because sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. So if you do the math, you're going to get 354 days. That's 10 days too short. So if you're using the new moon to calculate your year, you're going to be 10 days too short with 12 moons. So this is what the Gentiles did. They came up with something, they smart. They said, you know what, you're right. It ain't gonna add up. So they created something new while they gave names for all the months. They made up names for the months, and they decided, well, when it doesn't add up, we're just going to throw something in there. We're going to call it Adar 2. Well, how you going to have Adar 2? That's like saying you got a Bib 2. You got 1 month. You can't have 2 months with the same name. It doesn't make any sense. That's like having two second days, 2 seventh days. It doesn't add up. So when you do that way, you're going to have 380 something days, 384 or 383, something like that. It's not going to add up. Now your season is way too long. You starting way far into the spring to start your season, which means your year is going to end at a different portion of time. It's not going to end on time. It's just like a clock. Once you're off, the clock stays off. It's not going to just get back on unless it's broke and it's stuck at one spot. Go ahead, Art.
Verse 43. The lengthening of the days and night and the contraction of the day and night are made to differ from each other by the progress of the sun. By means of this progress, the day is daily lengthened, and the night is greatly shortened. This is the law and progress of the sun, and its turning when it turns back, turning during 60 days and going forth. This is the great everlasting luminary, that which he names the sun forever and ever. This also is that which goes forth the great luminary, and which is named after its peculiar kind, as Elohim commanded. And thus it goes in and out, neither slackening nor resting, but running on its chariot by day and by night. Its light is 7 times brighter than that of the moon, but the dimensions of both are equal.
All right. So something that Enoch is saying also in this is that the sun and the moon are equal in size. So that changes things. Science is saying a bunch of other different things, but I'm going to rely on the servants of the Most High rather than rely on science, because I've lived long enough for science to come back and tell me, yeah, well, we lied. It's really this. Yeah, there's really 8 planets, not 9. Whoa, no, there's 9 again. Oh, there's 10. I'm not dealing with all that. It's confusion. So let's go to the conclusion. We're going to do one more Sefer writing. Let's go to Jubilees. We're going to get a second witness. And these writings are old. Jubilees and all these writings are old. This is before Torah.
So
all these books are pre-biblios. This is before the Greeks took our stuff and changed it and made a Bible out of it. These are the ancient writings, the scriptures. Found it? Yobelum, Jubilees.
Yeah, what does that start with?
Chapter 6.
Okay.
And what does it say?
And on the new moon.
What was it before? It was 71, so it's probably 5.
It came to pass when the children of
Yeah,
men.
let me get to there real quick.
All right.
All right, so we're going to Jubilees. And it should say on the new month of the 3rd month.
All right.
All right, so it's on?
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to read verses 32 through 38 and get a second witness to that. And 32, it says, and command your children of Yasharal, they observe the years.
All right.
What verse is that on there?
On verse 32?
Yeah, it should be 32.
Let's see. And command you the children.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Book of Jubilees, chapter 6 and verse 32. And command you the children of Yasharal that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days.
All right, so 364 days. Now you have two witnesses. You have another witness. The Torah don't tell you exactly how many days are long. But they knew how many days were in a year. How did they know how many days were in a year? Because they had ancient writings. Enoch was before Jacob, Abraham, and all these people. And before we even